How can cerebral palsy occur sometimes at birth? Want to know the answer to this question? Stay with me as I share with you this very important information. Hello guys, I'm Marcus Boston and I'm a childbirth injury attorney practicing law here in the state of Maryland, and I would like to talk with you today about cerebral palsy, or CP, at birth. Now, there can be a lot of causes for cerebral palsy, and what this medical condition essentially can lead to is developmental delays in your child. Now, I just did a quick video that dealt with microcephaly, and what that is it is a medical condition in which the child's brain does not develop like other children's brains. And some parents know this as their child will develop a small head or their brain will be small. And I talked about some birth trauma related issues in that video also. And what I said in that video also can hold true in this video today, what I'm talking about, which deals with CP. Now, what can happen during a vaginal birth is that sometimes a child does not respond well to a vaginal delivery. And I gave an example in the other video, and I'm going to use that example here. Look at it like this. If you are a runner or you're an athlete, and when you get started with everything, you're feeling good. You got a lot of energy. You can get to mile 1, no problems. You got energy. But by the time you get to mile 3, guys, you might be running out of gas. You might be running out of energy. You're getting tired. You got to think about your baby situation during a vaginal delivery as the same thing. Remember, mom, your child is reacting to your contractions. Your child is dealing with the birthing process just like you are. But what can sometimes happen is that when the baby is in distress, baby's having a hard time. Just like the runner or the adult would be when the runner is tired and out of energy and out of oxygen and out of gas. The runner is going to crash, the person exercising, they're going to crash, and this can happen with the baby too. Sometimes when the fetal reserve is just empty, the baby just can't take it anymore. And this is why it is so important that doctors and nurses are paying attention to the fetal heart monitor during delivery. They got to make sure that that fetal heart monitor, that the baby's heartbeat is not getting way up there, it's not getting too high, and that it's not dropping down too low. They've got to make sure that when they're observing everything, that when mom has a contraction, the baby is moving along too. Baby can't be falling behind, or what we call late decelerations. You can't have a lot of these late decelerations, because once those are present, then it should be alerting the nurses and the doctors that, you know what, something may be wrong. The child may be in distress. And if the baby is not tolerating the vaginal delivery well, then doctors need to go ahead and move to an emergency C-section to help the baby out. Now, parents sometimes can tell after birth that there might be problems. For example, if the child was born blue in color, or the child had to be resuscitated, or the baby needed to be moved to the NICU because of seizures. All of these things may alert parents that, you know what, there could be an injury somewhere with the child. And like I was talking about earlier, when I was going through the fetal distress situation, when I was going through that, what can happen during this distress is that there can be a lack of oxygen getting to the baby. And this means that if a lack of oxygen or no oxygen at all is getting to the baby, then that can damage your child's brain. Now, I want to jump back to something else really quick when I was talking about the fetal distress situation. Sometimes right at the beginning of the vaginal birth process, when the mother's water breaks, that sometimes there will be heavy meconium. And if this is present, this can sometimes alert doctors that, you know what, child may be having a hard time. So, like I said, doctors and nurses have to make sure that they're looking out for the child during a vaginal delivery. They've got to be paying attention to that fetal heart monitor. They've got to be looking at, are there late decelerations and things like that, because if the baby is not tolerating, then what do we have to do? We've got to move to an emergency C-section. Now, what is the purpose of me sharing this very important information with you today? Well, the reason why I'm doing this is because you may have a CP diagnosis for your child, and you are wondering what's going on, or your child may have suffered some type of injury during birth, and now you want to talk with someone. You may have experienced some of these things. Maybe your child was blue in color, or maybe your child is now not meeting these neonatal milestones, or there are developmental delays present, and you have questions. You want to know what's going on. Well, this is what I invite you to do. You can take this action, and it costs you absolutely nothing to do this, and that is to go ahead and pick up the phone and give me a call. I can be reached at 301-850-4832, or if you prefer, send me an email to medicalinjury@bostonlawllc.com. I answer medical malpractice and childbirth injury questions like yours all the time, and I'll be glad to take some time to listen to your birthing story. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's quick educational video. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm one of the medical malpractice attorneys here at Boston Law Group LLC, and we will see you next time. Guys, take care and enjoy the rest of your day.